So the indigo contract was that the sharecroppers had to grow indigo crop on 15% of their land, and they had to surrender the entire indigo harvest to the planters, to the British landlords. Now in the meantime, Germany developed synthetic indigo. Now the impact of synthetic indigo on natural indigo would be that prices of natural indigo would fall. So now, keeping that in mind, these British landlords told these sharecroppers that they were ready to relieve them from this contract, and for that they had to deposit compensation money. And the farmers, many of the peasants agreed, and they even deposited the money, while the others did not agree. They refused, and the British landlords forced them. So those farmers went to the lawyers, and now when these farmers who had deposited the money, they came to know about synthetic indigo developed by Germany, that because of the synthetic indigo, the prices of natural indigo would fall, and that is why the British had made this offer. So they now also wanted their money back. Now the dispute arose between the landlords and the sharecroppers, and these landlords, they tried to send their men to scare them, to suppress them. Now it was at this point that Gandhi had arrived Champaran. Now Gandhi had already talked to the lawyers about this whole issue, this was dealing with the lawyers regarding the indigo dispute. The magistrate informed that the case of civil disobedience was dropped. He got a written communication from the Lieutenant Governor that the case was dropped. So this was the victory of civil disobedience, that is, civil disobedience won for the first time in India, and this case of civil disobedience was dropped. Now, after this, Gandhi had 4 long meetings with the Lieutenant Governor, and an inquiry commission was set up. And then after the inquiry, a huge evidence was collected against the British landlords, and the landlords, they accepted their mistake and they were ready to refund the money. Now they thought that Gandhi would agree only when they returned the whole amount, but Gandhi demanded only 50%. Now these British landlords, they offered only 25%. They said they could give only 25%, and Gandhi took them at their word. He said, okay. This amazed them. Why Gandhi agreed? Because he said that the amount of money was only 25%. The amount of money did not matter. What mattered was that the British had accepted their mistake, and they were going to share not only some money but also a part of their pride. So in this way he defeated the British on their own mistake. So this ended the indigo contract, and the British landlords, they left the lands, they left the estates, and the sharecroppers, the Indian farmers, they got their land back, and the contract ended forever. Now after this, Gandhi paid attention towards the social conditions, the cultural and social conditions of Champaran, and he saw that the level of education was very poor, there was a lot of backwardness. So he opened 6 primary schools, he got some volunteer teachers, and in this way the system of education, primary education, was introduced. After this, Gandhi paid attention towards the health conditions, and he felt that even health conditions were poor, so some volunteer doctors made themselves available, and then 3 medicines were commonly provided. They were commonly made available, and those medicines were castor oil, quinine, and sulphur ointment. Now after that, and Gandhiji's wife Kasturbai, she also reached there. She taught the women lessons of cleanliness, and at the same time Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram activities also. He kept on giving his instructions to the people at ashram. Now, this Champaran episode proved to be a turning point in Gandhiji's life. He had just come to Champaran for a few days visit on the request of this farmer Rajkumar Shukla, but this visit got prolonged to almost a year, and Gandhi there had a lot of experience, a lot of happenings took place there, and he also saw the way to India's freedom. That is, it was there, that is because the civil disobedience won, and the farmer and the British landlords, they accepted their own mistakes. So he realized that this way he could urge the British to leave India. The struggle for independence could be carried on in this way. He realized that he had huge mass support over there. So this way he realized he could carry on with this struggle for freedom. Now when Gandhi was there, his one lawyer who was posted to the Fiji Islands, he came to meet Gandhi, and the lawyers here now thought that the Gandhi could take his support because he was an Englishman, and this would help them to solve their cases fast. This would help them to get their cases solved fast. So they told Gandhi that they could take his support, but Gandhi again did not like this suggestion. He told them that they should be self-dependent, their cause was right, they would win, they should not see a support in some outsider. So in this way he taught them the lesson of self-reliance. So Gandhi taught the lawyers also lessons of sincerity and self-reliance during this episode.